months since you've been able to see my garden, and I thought it would be a really good time to bring you back through and see what my garden has sort of grown into over the spring. This has been a little bit of a challenging year for daylilies. The heat, the lack of water, they haven't liked a lot. There's been a lot of bud drop, fewer buds than normal, and some of them aren't even flowering. There's still lots to see. I just want to take you through a quick tour of my garden and show you the things that I'm really liking at this time. As you can see, it really has filled in. When you were here in the spring, it was just the spring bulbs, that were just starting to pop up. Those have all come and gone. So now the garden has really filled in. There are very few spaces for weeds. That is one of the good things about my garden. I spend a lot of time in the garden at the TBG. I want to come home and enjoy my garden. So I don't really have a lot of work to do outside of just sort of some deadheading and things in my garden. So this little area here, these are all seedlings from my hybridizing program. So it sort of gives you an idea of the vast array of options that you have and what you get out of the same seedlings. So these two here are siblings. So they came from the same seed pod. Same parents, same everything. As you can see, they're quite a bit different. This would be the one that I would choose to select out of these two, and this one will end up getting culled. There's just more I like about this flower, so I'll still have to watch it for another year or two and make sure it has enough that we're looking for. As you walk through, you can see every inch of my garden is used. I've got hostas in the shady areas, and I've got other euphorbias and things like that. I like to utilize all of my space, and I'm a plant lover, so that's what this garden is a collector's garden. There's one really pretty purple flower in here. That's Berkea purpurea. That is from South Africa, and it is of the aster family, and I absolutely love it. It's been in my garden for 3 or 4 years. Not super hardy, but it's been reliable here. So as we walk through, again, you're going to see a lot of daylilies. This is one of my favorite crosses this year. This is probably my top seedling of the year. Its parent gets hung up quite a bit and doesn't always open properly, and I think I fixed that with my hybridizing. So I'm looking forward to watching that one grow. As you stand here, you can really see a lot of the Japanese maples have sort of really filled in. I've been doing some editing and doing some pruning to keep the scale in mind. There's a little daylily here that I was working on the hybridizing this morning. So that's Cheryl May Taylor from across the road. You just saw that main plant. You can see some of the purple hues come out with the red maple in behind it. So I use that when I grab the pollen and sort of go around and put on my bee outfit and go around the garden. So this area is the shade section of the garden. There's a lot of the podophyllum spotty dotties in there. All of my epimediums are in there. There's just some really cool plants, and I did add some new plant material this year. As we go through the garden, I have my garden organized and the daylilies in different sections, mostly for hybridizing. This section would be the pattern section. So when you see the really nice eye in this, and there's a really complicated eye zone, there's purples and blues and yellows in different patterns. All of these have that in them. So depending on the heat that comes out, those patterns are different. If you get a cool day, they really intensify, which makes the patterns really interesting. This section is my striped section. This is the area that I'm most interested in. This is my main goal in hybridizing, are streaked, striped, and broken colors. There's only a couple blooming today. A lot of them are later. You missed this one. It was open yesterday. This is one of my intros, striped chameleon. This is Cyclone Twister, which is a really pretty pink with darker pink to it. And then Augie's Unique Beauty is a double-toned orange. Quite spectacular. Every bloom is different. This one is special. This one just opened for the first time today. I named a daylily for my mother, which was over there, Paul Gellatly. We'll take a look at that one shortly. This is the first seedling that's ever bloomed out of that one. I like it. We'll see if it grows on me. This is to show you that not every flower works. This is the first flower open, and it is ugly. I'm gonna give it a chance though. I think it might improve over the next couple of blooms. They do that sometimes. Just to your left here, this is another one of my favorite seedlings for the year. So this is a giant, toothy, beautiful daylily. There's absolutely nothing I don't like about this flower. I will definitely be holding on to this one and seeing how it progresses over the next couple of years. You don't want to introduce something until you've given it a chance to really learn what it's going to do. A few more seedlings here. This one's worth talking about. This one's called Exotic Starfish. So this one's really unique for a daylily. The markings on this are fantastic, and it is really good to use in hybridizing. It really throws out some neat patterns and some neat textures in a daylily. This is Entwined in the Vine, which was a Stout winner a couple of years ago. One of the top daylilies in the world. I really like it. It does throw amazing babies in hybridizing, and it's quite a unique plant. This is another shade section. As you can see, there's more shade as the garden sort of grows, and the maples are sort of starting to shade things. There's the Paulownia tree next to me, which is 6 years old from a seed, and it's about 20 to 25 feet tall now. It is spectacular, and it's actually, I've limbed it right up, but it is giving the Japanese maples the shade that they need to sort of keep them from sun scorch. Japanese umbrella pine is one of my favorites. I think more people should try these. You really have to get the right spot, but its form is unique, its texture is unique. I really like the look of it. This is one seedling to point out. This has got sculpting in it, which not a lot of them do, so you can really see the ripples through there. I'm not crazy about the color of this one, but I am going to hold on to it and try and introduce that into some other hybridizing that I'm doing. Lots of unique stuff. This section is where a lot of my viburnums and hydrangeas and unique things are. This is Mr. Goldstrike, not supposed to be hardy here. I do give it a little extra winter protection, and I am getting lucky, I know that. This is oak leaf hydrangea ruby slippers. This is the best it has ever looked. It is completely loaded in flowers, and it's going to be stunning. The fall color on this is absolutely spectacular. This is about full size for it. It might fill out a little bit more, but it's a really good size to use in some space. There's a variegated viburnum here that I absolutely love. It only gets 1 or 2 flowers for me a year, but some of the foliage is just beautiful. It's one that I picked up at Lost Horizons, and I absolutely love it. As we move through, the hairy hydrangea, Hydrangea sargentii. I love everything about this plant. It's sort of an unusual, rare specimen. Not a lot of people have them. It definitely has hair. You can see on the stems, they're completely hairy. It's done well in growth this year, but it's actually only got 1 flower bud forming. That'll be good enough. It's actually really pretty, so I'm happy with that. Everywhere in my garden, there are little surprises. So I have things that are hidden. I utilize literally every space that I have. This did flower earlier this year. It's an African violet family, which I think is really cool that we can grow that here. Under Hannah Matoi, I've actually got my mini hosta collection. So I've literally utilized all of the space, and they are very, very happy under there. A few other gems. This is Green Mansions Elm. Another one that's not a lot of people have. I do love my variegated plants, so you do see a lot of them around. Carnival maple to your right here, that is also another variegated hedge maple. So a lot of people have had difficulties wintering this over. I've had none. It does very, very well. You can see here, this is probably one of my favorites. This is the purple summer chocolate albizia. Again, not technically that hardy here, but that foliage is fantastic and definitely worth trying. It does send out flowers, bright pink powder puff flowers that really look good against that purple foliage. This is the last little section of the garden. This is where the good stuff is. This is where I hide all my gems and the ones I'm really working with a lot in my hybridizing. So I just want to point a couple out. This is the one I mentioned earlier that I named for my mother, Dale Hayward Gellatly. I love the green throat on this, the bright red color, and it's very color strong. Even after the sun hits it all day, that red stays on there. You can see the one beside it is its sibling. So although similar, they are definitely different. This one isn't quite as strong as far as the plant habit goes, so it's never been registered. I do love that eye, and I will work with it a little bit. This is Rose F. Kennedy, the Tet form. This one is absolutely spectacular. It passes that green throat on to a lot of its siblings, and I think that's absolutely amazing to its children. My lotus. I actually have a water feature in my garden specifically to grow this plant. So when there are crazy plant people out there that'll do crazy things, I put a pond in for one plant. This has been in for, I think, about 5 years now. It puts out only 1 or 2 flowers a year, but those satellite leaves, you can't beat that. And when I'm getting photos of my daylilies, I try and catch them in front of those leaves. It really makes an interesting photo. So that's a quick tour of my garden. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you around the TBG soon.